Have you ever felt invisible in a room full of people? Not just overlooked, but like your thoughts, your words, even your presence barely register. You try to speak, to connect, to make someone see you, but it's like your voice is swallowed by the air around you. It's exhausting, isn't it? The constant effort to be heard, the small defeats that pile up until they weigh you down, until you start questioning whether anyone really notices you at all. You're not alone. Most people walk through life carrying this invisible burden, quietly screaming to be understood, to matter, to belong, and it chips away at your confidence, your energy, your sense of self. You feel it every time someone interrupts you, every time your idea is dismissed, every time a door closes before you even knock. That frustration isn't just emotional. It's physical. It tightens your chest, clouds your mind, and leaves a hollow ache that whispers, maybe you're not enough. But here's the thing. That feeling, that struggle isn't permanent. There's a way out, a path to being seen, being heard, being respected without fighting to prove yourself every single day. Imagine walking into a room and feeling a subtle shift, the atmosphere bending just enough that people lean in when you speak, that your words land with weight, that your presence leaves a mark. Imagine the relief of being understood, the quiet power of connecting effortlessly, the confidence that doesn't need validation because it stems from something far deeper. That isn't a fantasy, it's a skill, a single, precise social ability that, when honed, can change the way the world responds to you, can change the way you respond to the world. Right now, it's likely you're spinning your wheels. You may try to talk more, to be louder, to force your presence, thinking sheer effort will demand attention. But the truth is, it rarely works. Force creates resistance, noise creates distraction. And in that chaos, the very thing you're longing for slips further away. People may hear you, but they don't feel you. They may notice you, but they don't connect with you. And the frustration grows, carving its mark deeper into your life. Every ignored email, every overlooked comment, every unnoticed smile compounds this invisible weight. There's a moment when you realize that it's not about trying harder. It's about changing the way you exist in the social landscape entirely. There's a shift that can happen when you understand how human connection truly works, when you learn to speak to the currents of attention, emotion, and trust without even raising your voice. This isn't manipulation. This isn't acting, it's alignment. It's about becoming someone whose presence invites people in, whose words carry clarity and impact, whose interactions leave others feeling understood and valued. And here's the most important part. It starts with awareness. Awareness of yourself, your energy, and the invisible signals you send every moment. Every posture, every tone, every pause speaks louder than words, whether you realize it or not. Once you see it, once you master it, you can direct it intentionally, sculpting every interaction to create the connection you crave. Imagine that weight lifting from your shoulders, the constant anxiety, the self-doubt, the silent frustration, because now you can enter any space and your presence matters. You notice it in the way eyes linger when you speak, the subtle nods that confirm understanding, the genuine smiles that emerge without effort. You realize that people aren't resisting you. They're responding to the skill you've cultivated, the signal you emit, the energy you carry. And with that skill comes freedom. Freedom from over-explaining, from overcompensating, from questioning whether you're enough. Freedom from invisibility. Every conversation becomes an opportunity, every interaction a chance to reinforce your value, to leave a positive impression, to grow relationships effortlessly. The world doesn't hand this skill to most people. It's not taught in classrooms, not drilled into resumes, not whispered in casual advice, but it exists, and it's within reach. If you allow yourself to step beyond the patterns that keep you small, to invest in understanding the unspoken language that governs connection, everything changes. Life doesn't suddenly become perfect, but every day feels lighter, every encounter richer, every opportunity more attainable. You begin to see doors open where walls once stood, to feel the subtle current of influence and trust surrounding you, and to realize that your voice, your true voice, finally carries the weight it was always meant to have. And it all starts with this one skill, this invisible lever that transforms presence into power, frustration into clarity, and invisibility into impact. Every missed connection, every ignored word, every moment you felt unseen, those were warnings. They were telling you that the way you've been moving through the world isn't enough. You can't afford to keep drifting, hoping people will notice you by accident. Life doesn't wait, and neither does opportunity. Every second spent invisible is a chance lost, a door closed, a path you'll never walk if you don't step up. The urgency isn't external. It's in the weight you feel when you come home alone after another day of trying to force attention, another day of wondering why your effort never lands. That pressure isn't a punishment. It's a signal, a spark that can ignite everything if you choose to respond. This skill, the one that changes everything, isn't abstract. It isn't fluff or wishful thinking. It's tangible. It has a measurable impact. People who master it are not luckier, smarter, or inherently more charming. They've learned to navigate the invisible currents of human connection, to tap into the signals that matter, to communicate in a way that lands on a level deeper than words. And here's the truth that most people never hear. If you don't learn it, you will continue to be overlooked. You will continue to feel the hollow ache of irrelevance, the silent frustration of being present but not counted. You will watch opportunities slip through your fingers, and every time you tell yourself, "I'll try tomorrow," the gap widens. But imagine if you didn't wait. Imagine if you grasped the power in your hands right now. Imagine walking into any room and instantly sensing the dynamics, knowing how to make people feel heard, respected, and engaged without demanding it. Imagine the relief of realizing that influence doesn't come from trying harder. It comes from knowing how to be understood. Every word you speak, every glance, every pause, every inflection suddenly carries weight. People respond to you naturally. Doors open because you are aligned with the currents of connection, not because you forced your way through them. And when that happens, everything you've been struggling for, the recognition, the respect, the chance to make an impact, becomes inevitable. This isn't about changing who you are. It's about refining what you already carry inside. It's about learning the rhythm of interaction, the silent codes that everyone responds to, the subtle power of listening, observing, and adapting. When you master this, you don't have to shout, you don't have to push, you don't have to compete. Presence alone becomes your leverage. People lean in, they notice, they remember. And in that noticing, life shifts. Every opportunity you once missed, every conversation that fizzled, every idea that was ignored, those become history. You start to step into a new reality, one where your voice matters because you know how to make it matter. The stakes are higher than most realize. This isn't just about social finesse or being liked. This is about survival in a world that rewards connection and punishes invisibility. Every person you fail to connect with is a chance wasted. Every relationship left shallow is potential unrealized. Every opportunity you let slip by because no one noticed your presence chips away at your life in ways that feel small day to day but accumulate into something irreversible over time. That pressure you feel, that ache in your chest, is the universe telling you act now or watch your life continue on autopilot, unseen, unheard, unremarkable. But you don't have to stay there. You can reclaim your space. You can cultivate the skill that flips the script. You can step into a room and have people respond to you before you say a word because they sense your clarity, your confidence, your presence. You can build influence naturally, earn respect effortlessly, and connect deeply in ways that feel effortless but are rooted in precision and awareness. And once you've experienced that, you realize the world isn't against you. It's just waiting for you to show up in the way only you can. Every moment spent invisible now becomes a fuel for action, a reminder that change is urgent and the reward is life-altering. There is no more waiting. There is no more hoping that someone finally sees you. There is only this, mastery of the one skill that determines whether you fade into the background or rise into the space you were always meant to occupy. The door is open. The choice is yours. Every interaction, every conversation, every connection becomes an opportunity to prove to yourself, first and foremost, that you matter, that you can command attention without force, that you can be felt, understood, and remembered. Step into that reality. Feel the weight lift. Feel the power in being present, intentional, and unstoppable. Because once you do, nothing and no one will be able to ignore you again. Every second you wait is a moment wasted. Every conversation that passes without impact, every idea that slips quietly into the background, every opportunity that vanishes while you hesitate, it all adds up. You feel it in the back of your mind, that gnawing awareness that life isn't pausing for you to catch up. It doesn't care whether you're ready or not. And that is why mastering this skill isn't optional, it's urgent. The difference between someone who drifts through life unnoticed and someone who leaves a mark isn't luck, intelligence, or charm. It's presence. It's knowing how to move, speak, and connect in ways that trigger attention, respect, and trust before a single word is even processed. Think about how often you've been left out, overlooked, dismissed, or underestimated. Those moments are not just mistakes. They are the silent truth of how life treats the unprepared. People respond to signals, not words. They sense confidence, clarity, and understanding long before they consciously acknowledge them. That's why simply showing up isn't enough. You can't hope to be noticed by just being there. You have to radiate a presence so undeniable that it commands recognition. That's the real power, and it's available to anyone willing to see, willing to learn, willing to act. The stakes are higher than most dare to admit. Invisibility isn't harmless, it's costly. Every connection you fail to make is a lost opportunity. Every misstep in communication ripples into your career, your relationships, your personal growth. Every day that passes without this skill compounds the quiet frustration you feel now into years of unseen potential. You can feel it in your chest, that tension that says something has to change. That tension isn't an obstacle, it's a signal that your life is waiting for you to rise, to claim the presence that has always been yours to own. Imagine stepping into a room and sensing the currents before they hit you, feeling the subtle shifts in attention and directing them effortlessly. Watching people lean in naturally, nodding, listening, remembering what you say because you've learned how to be felt before you're heard. That's the invisible leverage that separates those who influence from those who fade. And once you feel it, once you wield it, every interaction becomes a building block of influence. Every conversation a chance to create connection that matters. Nothing feels the same after you experience that kind of alignment. This skill is not taught in schools, not handed down in manuals, not casually discussed. Yet it determines more outcomes than degrees, talent, or hard work. Without it, doors remain closed, potential untapped, life quieter than it could be. With it, even small actions carry weight. You don't have to force respect or push for attention. It flows to you naturally because people are wired to respond to authenticity shaped by mastery. Every interaction becomes a test you pass effortlessly. Every hesitation, every fear, every moment of self-doubt diminishes in the presence of skill honed with intent. Now is the moment to internalize that urgency, to feel it in your bones, to understand that waiting, procrastinating, hoping, it doesn't work. Life rewards precision, awareness, and presence, and the longer you ignore that signal inside you, the more opportunity slips away. Every single connection, every conversation, every chance to matter, to influence, to grow, these are not infinite. They are fragile, fleeting, and unforgiving. To fail to act is to accept a life where your voice is lost in the noise, your worth overlooked, your potential unseen. But you can step into another reality. A reality where your presence commands attention, where your words resonate, where people are drawn toward you because you've mastered the unspoken language of influence. A reality where doors open before you knock and opportunities flow because you know how to navigate the currents of human interaction. It starts with awareness, then intention, then relentless action. You can feel it now, the pull of what's possible, the life waiting for someone who refuses to fade. That pull is not subtle, it's demanding, and it will not forgive inaction. You have the choice to remain a background observer or become the force that shapes outcomes. You can continue to drift unnoticed, or you can cultivate presence so powerful it cannot be ignored. Every second you delay is another moment where invisibility wins. Every second you act is a second closer to the life you've imagined, the recognition you crave, the influence you deserve. Step fully into that energy. Feel it, own it, wield it. Because mastery of this skill doesn't just improve life, it transforms it. It turns silence into voice, invisibility into impact, hesitation into unstoppable momentum. The time to claim it is now, because nothing waits, and every second counts. Every moment you hesitate is a moment the world passes you by. Every conversation you enter without presence is a conversation that fades into forgetfulness. The opportunities you've dreamed of, the connections you've longed for, the respect you deserve, they are not abstract, they are real, tangible, waiting for someone who refuses to remain invisible. And right now, that someone is meant to be you. You feel the tension inside, that quiet, relentless whisper telling you that staying the same is no longer an option. That whisper is not guilt, it's clarity. It's the life you're capable of, the version of yourself that refuses compromise, that refuses to be ignored, that refuses to drift through days unnoticed. The skill we're talking about is not a trick, not a gimmick, not a hollow technique. It is the very architecture of human connection. It governs influence, trust, and respect in ways most people never recognize. And it works silently, invisibly, until you harness it intentionally. Mastery transforms interactions into leverage, moments into opportunities, presence into influence. Without it, you remain one among many, a face in the crowd, your potential unrealized. With it, you become the one everyone notices, the one who shapes outcomes, the one who moves through life with authority and impact. The stakes are not small. Life does not reward the passive. Every day that passes without the skill is a day of wasted potential. A day where doors remain closed, where people fail to see your worth, where you remain on the outside looking in. Feel the weight of that truth. The ache of being overlooked is not imagined. It is the signal of a life that can be dramatically different if only you act. That frustration, that tightness in your chest is your fuel. It is a call to step forward and claim what has always been yours: influence, respect, and genuine connection. Imagine walking into a room and sensing every subtle current of attention, every unspoken tension, and knowing exactly how to move, how to speak, how to be felt. Imagine people leaning in, hanging on your words, remembering not just what you said, but how you made them feel. That is not fantasy. It is attainable. And the longer you delay, the more time you give the world to move past you, the more opportunities vanish, the more your potential slips silently away. There is a reason this skill is rare. It is not taught in schools, not casually discussed, not handed down lightly. It is earned through awareness, deliberate practice, and relentless action. And that is why so many fail. They do not see the currents. They do not understand the invisible forces shaping every interaction. They do not realize that presence alone can open doors that talent, effort, and intelligence cannot. You cannot afford to be like them. Every second spent doubting, hesitating, or assuming that being yourself is enough without mastery is a second wasted. Every misconnection is a lost chance to change your life, to leave a mark, to matter in a world that otherwise moves on without notice. Now feel the urgency in your chest. The pull of what is possible is immense. Imagine each day as a test of whether you choose to remain small or claim your power. Every interaction, every word, every glance carries weight. Every choice to step up, to speak clearly, to embody presence builds momentum. It creates a ripple that transforms how the world responds to you. Imagine the confidence that comes from walking through life, knowing people see you, hear you, and value you without effort. Imagine doors opening before you even knock, relationships deepening with every exchange, influence becoming a natural extension of your presence. That life is not distant. It is within reach, waiting for someone who refuses to settle for invisibility. You cannot wait. Waiting is surrender. Waiting is invisibility disguised as patience. The moment to act is now. Every hesitation amplifies the risk of fading into the background, of losing ground to those who have understood this truth before you. You are capable of more than silent struggle, more than quiet disappointment. You are capable of commanding presence, cultivating influence, and creating connection that matters. Every second you claim the skill is a second closer to the life you were meant to lead. A life where your voice carries weight, your presence is felt, and your impact is undeniable. Step into that reality. Own it. Relentlessly pursue it. Nothing and no one can take it from you once you do. The difference between the life you have and the life you want is not luck. It is presence. It is influence. It is the skill to make yourself seen and heard without fighting for it. Every day you linger in hesitation is a day the world moves past you. Every opportunity you let slip is a reminder that visibility is not given, it is claimed. You cannot afford to drift, to wait for chance or fate to notice you. The reality is brutal. The world responds only to those who understand its hidden rules. It rewards awareness, precision, and intentional presence. And it punishes inaction. Feel the urgency pulsing through your chest. It is not a gentle whisper. It is a roar. Every ignored glance, every dismissed word, every invisible moment compounds into a life that falls short of your potential. You can feel it, the weight pressing against your ribs, the tension that refuses to dissipate. That pressure is the signal to act, to step fully into a version of yourself that refuses to be unseen, unheard, overlooked. There is no time for excuses. There is no room for delay. Every moment of hesitation strengthens the wall between you and the life you are capable of. This skill, the one that transforms presence into power, is not optional. It is the difference between fading quietly into the background and shaping your reality with intention. It is the difference between being noticed and being ignored, between influence and irrelevance. Those who understand it do not struggle to be heard. They are felt before they speak, remembered before they leave, trusted before they prove themselves. And that same power is within your reach if you refuse to settle, if you refuse to remain passive, if you commit to mastering what most never even consider. Imagine stepping into any room and feeling its energy before a word is spoken. Imagine navigating every conversation with precision, every glance, every tone calibrated to create connection, understanding, and trust. Imagine people leaning in, genuinely listening, remembering, valuing, because your presence communicates clarity and confidence effortlessly. That is not fantasy. That is the life waiting for you. And yet, it will not arrive without action. Waiting, hoping, drifting through invisibility, these are the traps that steal life quietly, relentlessly, without mercy. Every second lost is a door closed. Every hesitation is a connection never made. Every moment you do not act compounds the gap between who you are and who you could become. Feel the weight of that truth. The cost of invisibility is higher than most admit. It robs you of opportunities, undermines your confidence, and silently shapes a life smaller than you deserve. And yet, the power to change it is in your hands. The skill is precise, tangible, and learnable. It is not a trick, not a gimmick, not charm or luck. It is awareness, intention, and deliberate action. It is learning to read people, to communicate in ways that resonate deeply, to make presence unavoidable. With mastery, you no longer compete for attention. You command it naturally. Every interaction becomes a chance to leave an impression, every conversation an opportunity to build influence. The stakes are undeniable. The life you imagine, the recognition you crave, the impact you desire. It is all contingent on this mastery. Without it, opportunities vanish, doors remain closed, connections stay shallow, and influence is lost. With it, every step you take amplifies your presence. Every word you speak carries weight. Every interaction builds momentum. You do not need to force people to notice you. You do not need to fight for respect. You only need to embody the skill, the awareness, the intentional presence that draws others to you effortlessly. There is no room for waiting. The world moves, and you must move with it. Every moment of hesitation strengthens invisibility. Every moment of action strengthens presence. The choice is yours. Fade quietly into the background, or claim the skill that transforms silence into voice, invisibility into influence, hesitation into unstoppable momentum. The life you desire, the impact you are capable of, the respect you deserve, they are waiting. Step forward, own it. Do not let another second pass unclaimed. Because once you grasp this skill, once you embody it fully, nothing and no one will be able to ignore you again. The moment to act is not tomorrow. It is not next week. It is now. Every second you delay is a second wasted in a life that could be extraordinary. Every interaction you enter without awareness, every word you speak without precision, every glance that goes unnoticed, it all builds a life that feels smaller than it should, quieter than it could be, invisible when it matters most. You can feel it, the tension coiled inside you, the restless energy that refuses to be silenced. That energy is not weakness. It is the raw material of transformation. It is the fuel that can ignite a presence so powerful that people cannot help but notice you, remember you, respond to you. The skill that will change your life is simple in theory, but profound in its effects. It is the ability to connect, influence, and resonate on a level that transcends words. It is awareness, intention, and action combined into a force that makes your presence undeniable. People respond not to what you say. They respond to who you are, how you carry yourself, the signals you emit. When mastered, these signals draw people in. They create trust, attention, and respect before a single sentence is processed. You are not asking to be seen anymore. You are being recognized naturally, effortlessly, because mastery makes you unavoidable. Imagine the doors that have remained closed finally opening. Imagine the conversations that have felt empty, suddenly charged with meaning. Imagine your ideas landing, your presence felt, your value acknowledged without struggle. That reality is not distant. It is not reserved for the lucky or the charismatic. It is available to anyone who refuses to settle for being overlooked. Every moment you wait, every hesitation, every doubt is a barrier between you and this reality. You feel it in your chest. The quiet insistence that change is necessary. That insistence is truth. That insistence is the pulse of opportunity. The cost of ignoring it is steep. Invisibility does not pass without consequence. Missed opportunities, shallow relationships, unfulfilled potential, all of it accumulates quietly, shaping a life that is smaller than it should be. And once the habit of being overlooked takes root, it becomes harder to break. Doors close before you even reach them. Influence is assumed by others. Recognition goes to those who have learned what you have yet to claim. Every delay, every moment of inaction compounds the cost, making the stakes higher with every passing day. But the reward is life-altering. Presence, mastered, transforms frustration into confidence, silence into voice, hesitation into impact. Conversations become opportunities, connections become bridges, influence becomes natural, recognition becomes inevitable. And through it all, the most profound shift happens internally. You stop chasing validation because the world begins to respond to the clarity, the energy, the intentional presence you embody. You feel it in your bones, in your chest, in the way your mind sharpens and your confidence grows. Every interaction becomes proof that you can shape reality, that you can step into the life you were meant to lead. You cannot wait. The urgency is real. Life rewards those who move, those who claim their space, those who refuse to drift through invisibility. The moment to embody this skill is not tomorrow. It is not when conditions are perfect. It is now, with whatever you have, wherever you are. Every second spent hesitating is another moment lost, another opportunity slipping through your fingers, another confirmation that the world rewards action over potential. Step forward into the awareness, the intention, and the relentless practice that creates presence. Step forward and refuse to be invisible. The power you seek is already inside you. The skill you need is learnable, tangible, immediate. It is waiting for your focus, your commitment, your relentless action. The life you dream of, the recognition, the respect, the influence is within reach. The cost of ignoring it is invisibility. The reward of claiming it is transformation. You can feel the pull now, the gravity of what is possible. Move toward it, own it, become the person the world cannot ignore. Every second counts, every moment matters. Step into it fully, and nothing will ever treat you as invisible again. Every second you wait, the world moves without you. Every unspoken word, every unnoticed gesture, every moment of hesitation is a step away from the life you could have. You feel it in your chest, the quiet pressure, the restless energy that won't let you rest. That energy is not a warning to stop. It is a command to move. It is the pulse of potential, demanding that you rise, that you claim what has always been yours, to claim presence, influence, respect. The world doesn't hand these things out. They are seized by those who understand the hidden currents, who act with awareness, who refuse to drift unnoticed. The skill that transforms life is not charm. It is not charisma. It is awareness, intention, and action fused into a force that makes your presence undeniable. It is the ability to navigate every room, every conversation, every interaction with clarity, precision, and impact. People respond to signals before words, to energy before ideas, to presence before effort. When you master this, you don't have to demand attention. You embody it. You radiate it. And the world responds naturally, inevitably, unmistakably. Every glance lingers, every word lands, every idea is remembered. The life that once seemed out of reach suddenly becomes yours because you understand how to exist in a way that cannot be ignored. Think about all the times you have been overlooked, dismissed, underestimated. Every missed opportunity, every failed connection, every idea that vanished into silence is not just frustration, it is a signpost. It is the proof that moving through life without mastery leaves potential untapped. Every day you fail to act, the gap between who you are and who you could become widens. Doors close before you even reach them. Recognition flows to others. Influence goes to those who understand presence, waiting, hesitating, hoping. It is invisible theft. Every moment of inaction strengthens the wall between you and the life you desire. But there is hope, and it is immediate. Presence can be cultivated. Influence can be mastered. Connection can be intentional. Awareness, intention, and action are not theoretical. They are learnable, tangible, and transformative. Imagine walking into a room and sensing the currents before a word is spoken. Imagine steering every conversation with subtlety, precision, and power. Imagine people leaning in, listening, remembering, responding, not because you demand it, but because you emit a signal that cannot be ignored. That reality is yours when you choose to stop drifting and start mastering the skill that makes life notice you. The stakes could not be higher. Life rewards those who act. It punishes those who hesitate. Every interaction, every conversation, every glance carries opportunity. Every moment spent unaware, unprepared, passive, is a moment lost forever. The cost of invisibility is invisible until it is too late. Lost chances, weakened confidence, relationships that never deepen, potential that fades quietly into what could have been. And the urgency is not abstract. It is alive in your chest, in the tension that will not relent, in the restless energy demanding that you step forward, that you refuse to settle, that you claim what is yours. This is not optional. You cannot wait for validation, luck, or perfect conditions. You cannot drift and hope the world will recognize your worth. Influence, respect, and connection are claimed through mastery, through action, through relentless pursuit of presence. Step into every room, every interaction, every conversation with the skill to be felt before you are heard, to be remembered before you leave, to command attention naturally, effortlessly, inevitably. Feel the power in that. Feel the life it can create. The life you imagine, the impact you desire, the recognition you deserve. They are not distant. They are waiting for someone who refuses to be invisible. Someone who understands that presence is power. Someone who seizes opportunity with relentless awareness and intentional action. Every second you claim this skill is a second closer to transformation. Every word you speak, every gesture you make, every choice you take becomes proof that you can shape reality. Step into that reality. Own it. Become the person the world cannot ignore. Do not hesitate. Do not drift. Act now. Because once you claim this skill fully, nothing will ever treat you as invisible again. The world will not wait for you. Every second you linger, every moment you hesitate, life continues to move without notice of your presence. Opportunities slip through your fingers while you debate, while you doubt, while you assume that showing up is enough. It is not. Showing up without mastery is invisible effort. It is unnoticed work. It is potential wasted. You feel it now. The restless energy in your chest, the tension that refuses to be ignored. That pressure is not a warning. It is a call. It is a demand. It is the raw signal of the life you are capable of claiming if only you act. The skill that changes everything is simple in theory but profound in its results. It is the ability to connect, influence, and resonate in ways that cannot be ignored. People respond first to energy, to presence, to signals before they even process words. When mastered, it transforms interactions into leverage, moments into opportunity, presence into authority. You no longer fight to be noticed. You are noticed naturally. You are remembered effortlessly. Every glance lingers. Every word lands. Every room you enter bends subtly, almost imperceptibly, to acknowledge your presence. The life you have imagined, full of connection, recognition, and impact, is waiting for you here, in your grasp, if you refuse to remain passive. Consider every time you've been overlooked, dismissed, or underestimated. Every door that remained closed. Every conversation that felt hollow. Every idea that disappeared into silence. Those are not coincidences. They are the proof of the reality. Presence matters. Influence matters. Connection matters. Every moment without mastery compounds the cost of invisibility. Doors close before you even reach them. Recognition goes to those who understand the currents of interaction. Influence is assumed by the prepared, waiting, hesitating, hoping. It is a slow surrender. Every second of delay is a second lost forever, a moment where potential slips quietly into nothingness. But the reward is immense. Presence mastered transforms silence into voice, hesitation into action, invisibility into impact. Conversations become opportunities. Connections become bridges. Influence flows naturally. Recognition comes without demand. And inside, you feel the shift, the confidence, the clarity, the energy that grows as each interaction reinforces your presence. You stop chasing validation because the world begins to respond to the power you radiate, the signals you emit, the mastery you embody. Every moment becomes proof that you can shape reality, that you can claim the life you have long imagined. The stakes are not small, they are enormous. Life punishes hesitation and rewards action. Every second spent unaware, unprepared, passive is a moment that cannot be reclaimed. Every glance unmade, every word misused, every interaction approached without skill chips away at influence, connection, and opportunity. The pressure you feel is real. It is not abstract. It is the life demanding that you act, that you refuse to remain invisible, that you claim what has always been yours to claim: respect, influence, presence. This is not optional. You cannot wait for perfect conditions. You cannot drift and hope the world notices you. Influence, recognition, connection, they are claimed through awareness, intention, and relentless action. Step into every interaction with presence, with skill, with the energy that cannot be ignored. Every room, every conversation, every glance becomes an opportunity to leave a lasting impression, to build momentum, to create influence that endures. Feel the weight and the potential of that power. Claim it. The life you desire, the recognition you crave, the impact you are capable of, all of it is within reach. The cost of ignoring it is invisibility. The reward of mastering it is transformation. Every second you hesitate, you give the world another chance to move past you. Every second you act, you claim another fragment of your potential. Step fully into awareness. Step fully into intention. Step fully into the mastery that makes you unforgettable. The time is now. Do not drift. Do not wait. Own it. Every moment matters. Every second counts. And once you claim this skill fully, nothing will ever treat you as invisible again. Every second you hesitate, the world moves on without you. Every opportunity that passes unnoticed is proof that invisibility has a cost. You can feel it, the tightness in your chest, the restless energy that refuses to let you rest. That pressure is not a warning to stop. It is a signal to act. It is the pulse of the life you are capable of claiming, the presence, influence, and impact that have always been within your reach. The question is not if you can rise, it is if you will. The world does not notice those who wait. It notices those who move with awareness, those who step forward with clarity, those who embody the force of presence that cannot be ignored. This skill is not charm, it is not luck, it is not something reserved for the gifted. It is a combination of awareness, intention, and relentless action. It is the ability to read the currents of human attention, to communicate in ways that resonate deeply, to be felt before you are even heard. When mastered, it transforms every interaction into influence, every glance into connection, every word into impact. You do not have to demand attention. You do not have to force respect. You simply radiate it. And once you do, life shifts. Opportunities appear where there were barriers. Recognition comes where there was doubt. Doors that were once closed swing open because you carry a presence that makes them yield. Think of every moment you've been overlooked, every word that went unheard, every idea that faded into silence. These are not random failures. They are the proof that presence matters, that influence matters, that connection matters. Every time you fail to act, every hesitation, every assumption that being visible is enough compounds the cost. Doors close before you reach them. Recognition flows to others. Influence is assumed by those who understand what you have yet to claim. Waiting is surrender. Hesitation is invisibility. Every moment of inaction strengthens the distance between the life you have and the life you could lead. But the reward is extraordinary. Mastery of presence transforms silence into voice, invisibility into recognition, hesitation into unstoppable momentum. Conversations become opportunities, connections become bridges, influence flows naturally, recognition arrives effortlessly, and inside you feel it, the clarity, the confidence, the energy that grows with each interaction. You stop seeking validation because the world begins to respond to the authority, the intentional presence, and the mastery you radiate. Every moment becomes proof that you can shape reality. Every interaction becomes a testament to your potential. The stakes are enormous. Life rewards those who act and punishes those who hesitate. Every interaction, every conversation, every glance carries opportunity. Every second spent unaware, passive, or hesitant chips away at influence, connection, and possibility. The pressure you feel is real. It is alive. It is demanding that you refuse to remain invisible, that you claim what has always been yours: respect, influence, and presence. This is not optional. You cannot wait for luck, timing, or perfect conditions. Influence, recognition, connection, these are claimed through awareness, intention, and relentless action. Step into every room, every conversation, every interaction with mastery. Be felt before you speak. Be remembered before you leave. Command attention naturally, effortlessly, inevitably. Feel the gravity of that power, the life it can create, the transformation it brings, the life you desire, the recognition you crave, the impact you are capable of. They are within reach. The cost of ignoring it is invisibility. The reward of claiming it is profound transformation. Every second you hesitate, you let the world move past you. Every second you act, you claim another fragment of your potential. Step fully into awareness. Step fully into intention. Step fully into the mastery that makes you unforgettable. The time is now. Do not drift. Do not wait. Own it. Every moment matters. Every second counts. Once you claim this skill fully, nothing will ever treat you as invisible again. The life you have imagined, the impact, the respect, the influence is not distant. It is waiting for someone who refuses to settle for obscurity. It is waiting for someone who understands that presence is power, that connection is leverage, that influence is earned, not given. The door is open. The choice is yours. You can fade quietly into the background, unseen and unheard, or you can seize the skill that transforms silence into voice, invisibility into authority, hesitation into unstoppable momentum. Step forward, claim your presence, own your influence. Become the person the world cannot ignore. Nothing will ever treat you as invisible again. Every moment you hesitate, the world moves on without you. Every glance ignored, every word unheard, every opportunity missed adds weight to the life you could have but haven't claimed. You feel it, the tightness in your chest, the restless energy that refuses to settle. That tension is not punishment, it is signal. It is the pulse of what is possible. It is the life waiting for you to step into it, fully, relentlessly, without compromise. The question is not if you can rise, it is if you will. Waiting is surrender, hesitation is invisibility, and life does not reward those who drift unnoticed. The skill that changes everything is not charm. It is not luck. It is awareness, intention, and action, fused into a force that makes your presence undeniable. It is the ability to read people, to understand the subtle currents of attention, to communicate on a level that resonates before a word is even spoken. When mastered, it transforms interactions into influence, moments into opportunities, presence into authority. You do not have to fight for attention. You do not have to demand respect. You simply emit it. And once you do, life shifts. Doors open where there were walls. Recognition comes where there was doubt. Influence flows naturally because you have become unavoidable. Think of every time you have been overlooked, dismissed, or underestimated. Every door that remained closed. Every conversation that felt hollow. Every idea that disappeared into silence. These are not random failures. They are evidence that presence matters, influence matters, connection matters. Every moment spent without mastery compounds the cost of invisibility. Opportunities pass before you even notice. Recognition goes to those who understand what you have yet to claim. Waiting, hesitating, hoping. It is a slow surrender of potential. Every second lost strengthens the gap between the life you have and the life you could lead. But the reward is extraordinary. Presence mastered transforms silence into voice, invisibility into recognition, hesitation into unstoppable momentum. Conversations become opportunities. Connections become bridges. Influence flows naturally. Recognition arrives without effort. And inside you feel it. The clarity, the confidence, the energy that grows with each interaction. You stop seeking validation because the world responds to the authority, the intentional presence, the mastery you radiate. Every moment becomes proof that you can shape reality. Every interaction becomes a testament to your potential. The stakes could not be higher. Life punishes hesitation and rewards action. Every second spent passive, unaware, or hesitant chips away at influence, connection, and possibility. The pressure you feel is not abstract, it is alive. It demands that you refuse invisibility, that you claim what has always been yours, respect, influence, presence. This is not optional. You cannot wait for luck, timing, or perfect conditions. Influence, recognition, connection. These are claimed through awareness, intention, and relentless action. Step into every room, every conversation, every interaction with mastery. Be felt before you speak. Be remembered before you leave. Command attention naturally, effortlessly, inevitably. Imagine the life you could lead, opportunities opening before you even ask, conversations landing with impact, ideas remembered and valued, recognition flowing naturally, influence shaping outcomes. That life is not distant, it is waiting for someone who refuses to settle for obscurity, someone who understands that presence is power, that connection is leverage, that influence is earned, not given. Every second you act brings it closer. Every second you hesitate lets it slip. Step fully into awareness. Step fully into intention. Step fully into mastery. Claim your presence. Claim your influence. Become the person the world cannot ignore. Once you do, nothing will ever treat you as invisible again. The time is now. No more drifting, no more hoping, no more waiting. Every second counts. Every moment matters. Every interaction is a chance to claim the life you were always meant to live. Step forward relentlessly. Own your presence. Command your influence. become unforgettable. The world will notice because you will not allow it not to. You will not fade. You will not be overlooked. You will exist fully, powerfully, and visibly. Every opportunity, every connection, every moment is yours to seize. Take it. Own it. Become unstoppable. Every second you delay, the world moves on without you. Every opportunity missed, every glance ignored, every word unheard is proof that invisibility has a cost. You feel it. The restless energy in your chest, the tension that refuses to settle. That pressure is not punishment. It is signal. It is the pulse of the life waiting for you to step fully into it. Presence, influence, respect, they are not given, they are claimed. The question is not if you can rise, it is if you will. Waiting is surrender. Hesitation is invisibility. Life rewards those who act, those who move with awareness, those who embody the force of presence that cannot be ignored. The skill that transforms life is not charm. It is not luck. It is awareness, intention, and relentless action fused into a force that makes your presence undeniable. It is the ability to read people, to sense the invisible currents of attention, to communicate in ways that resonate before a word is spoken. When mastered, it turns interactions into leverage, moments into opportunity, presence into authority. You do not demand attention, you simply radiate it, and once you do, life shifts. Doors that were once closed open. Recognition comes where there was doubt. Influence flows naturally because you have become unavoidable. Think of every time you've been overlooked, dismissed, underestimated, every door that remained shut, every conversation that felt hollow, every idea that disappeared into silence. These are not random failures, they are evidence that presence matters, influence matters, connection matters. Every moment spent without mastery compounds the cost of invisibility. Opportunities pass before you even notice. Recognition goes to those who understood what you have yet to claim. Waiting, hesitating, hoping, it is surrender.